Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you are wondering where I am, I'm in my new house. I recently moved and I will be talking about that in this video. I'll be chit-chatting while I get ready. So I know that I've never filmed in front of a location that looks like this before. This is not going to be my permanent location, but everything is still kind of disheveled. I wanted to say that right away because I know that this location is a little bit weird and you've never seen it before. So yes, I will be talking about that. Today's video is really exciting for me and one of those really cool full circle moments. I've been doing YouTube for close to 11 years. My 11th anniversary is going to be on September 11th. And in my first ever video, that was a Sephora haul video, I actually went and bought a Tarte palette, and I can't tell you how long I held on to that palette. It's just kind of cool how I'm working with Tarte around the same time as when I started all of this. So it's like a cool full circle synchronicity moment in my opinion. As you guys know, Tarte is world famous, notorious for their Shape Tape concealer. I've been using it for years and years, and I was kind of thinking about it and I realized that Tarte kind of was like the OG full coverage doe foot applicator concealer, and they're actually the #1 selling concealer in America, which is pretty cool. So I was really excited when they wanted to work with me because I would get to try so much more from the line. I actually had never ordered from Tarte or any other makeup site that was just like one brand, but I have to say that if you're someone who has a favorite brand or if you're curious about a brand, I would definitely recommend shopping on their website because they have so much to offer. Probably my favorite part of shopping on the Tarte website was definitely those sets. I had so many full-size products in my cart that I wanted to try, and then I was like, let me go look in the sets, and lo and behold, there were so many sets that had all the products that I wanted to try. I also wanted to kind of put a spotlight, a special feature on their new Stay Spray, which is a setting spray. Setting sprays can sometimes have the tendency to be a little bit drying. Alcohol tends to be one of the main ingredients. I think it's something to do with the longevity and everything like that. One of my favorite parts of the Stay Spray is that it's infused with aloe and cucumber, so it does give your face a nice hydrated feel, but it doesn't feel sticky or tacky. So I'm really excited for you guys to see this get ready with me. There are so many products that I've been wanting forever that I finally got my hands on, that I finally got to try, so I hope that you guys enjoy. Like always, links to everything that I talked about and mentioned with my shades will be listed in the down bar down below, along with any other information. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we get started on the makeup, I always like to give you guys a little bit of a heads up if I've done anything to my skin before doing my makeup, because I really believe that skincare is first and foremost the #1 most important thing. If you don't have a good base, your makeup won't look good no matter what you use. I think skin is super important. Before I went into the shower, I microdermed my face. So I'll link my favorite ones down below. I haven't done this in a few months, and let me tell you, normally when I do it, I don't see like fluffy stuff or anything. There was so much fluff coming off my face, I looked like a down pillow. I feel so good and fresh, and honestly, it makes all the difference in your skin. Not only does it help makeup go on smoother, it also helps the products absorb better into the skin. So I think that's a really great thing to do. It's not expensive, and it's something that you can do at home like once a month. After I got out of the shower, I used the Tarte Youth or Dare Multi-Acid and C Serum. There's 2 different types of vitamin C in this, and as soon as I saw that Tarte came out with a vitamin C serum, I was both intrigued and curious, and so I'm really happy that I finally got the chance to try it. This vitamin C serum is very nice, very lightweight. It absorbs quickly, doesn't have like a weird or intense smell. If you want to know more about why I use vitamin C, I'll link my skincare video down below. Vitamin C is just really great at brightening up dull skin. It helps with sunspots, it helps with the texture of your skin. It's really just like a one-stop shop. If you're thinking about upping your skincare game, I think the first thing that you can add that's also not too pricey is a good vitamin C serum. I also like the fact that there's hyaluronic acid in this formula, so it's also very moisturizing. If you've been watching me for a while, I love sort of double duty products. So I love products that are like a moisturizer but also have some benefits to it that help makeup stay on longer and just look better, apply easier. You guys know I was super intrigued by this Double Duty Beauty First Step Prep by Tarte, and if you notice, it is a pretty small package, but I want to explain to you why I got so many of these little kits. When I was looking online at stuff I wanted to try, I really wanted to try things that I hadn't tried before. Then I was like, you know what, maybe they have sets where I can try different things. And lo and behold, they literally had a set with everything that I wanted to try, and I love that. But I love little sets like this where I can try a bunch of different things. I feel like when you buy sets, it's a good way to get a feel for what you like. A lot of the things that I wanted to try were skin-based. This set is called Hey Hydration. It came with the prep cream that I wanted to try, as well as a primer and their new setting spray. I also wanted to try some new pore priming stuff because I love a good pore filling primer. The Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, you guys know I've mentioned it in so many videos, is like my all-time ride or die, such a great product. But I noticed that Shape Tape also came out with a different version of a pore filler. So I ended up getting these two sets where I got to try all 5 different products that I was interested in trying. So this is their Double Duty Beauty First Step Prep, and I use this in place of a moisturizer today. So this really hydrates the skin. I feel like it gives a really nice healthy glow. From this first set, it came with the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Base Tape Hydrating Primer. This is also pretty moisturizing. This is a primer that I put everywhere because my skin is combination dry. I like having a hydrated glow primer all over my face to help with foundation lasting longer, but I also like going in with a pore filling primer in the areas where I want to cover up some of my pores. What I really like about this one is the textures. Obviously make sure you have clean hands. With the Timeless Smoothing Primer, you kind of scoop it up and then you can warm it up. But with this one, the best way that I found is just to rub it on your hands and then put it in the areas where you want some extra blurring. And then I'll also just apply a little bit like in my laugh lines because I've been noticing since I turned 24. From the same set, I'm gonna be using their Shape Tape setting powder. Now yes, I am using this before I do my foundation, kind of as a little bit of a test. What I really like about this powder is that it almost has a slight yellow tone. I don't want that to scare you guys because it's definitely not like a banana powder or anything like that, but it is pretty brightening. I'm just gonna take a little bit on the tip of my brush, swirl it into the cap it off, and then I'm just gonna lightly set the areas that I primed. I know this isn't a new tip, but I've been trying it out. I'm not putting a lot of powder, not even enough to get like any coverage, but just enough to set the areas. Now it's time for foundation, and I'm actually a really big fan of Tarte foundations. This one is the Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation, and this one is definitely for like no makeup effortless, or if you don't need a lot of coverage. When I do my makeup, I really love like full coverage. Now, I don't wear makeup every single day, especially right now during the move. This is like literally the first time I'm sitting down and like gonna be doing a full face. So this is the Face Tape foundation, and I went through a really big phase with this because one time I went over to my sister Tony's house and her skin just looked absolutely flawless. I was like, Tony, what foundation are you wearing? Like, it's so good. Her makeup always looks beautiful. She always looks beautiful, but sometimes like when a good skin day is just a good skin day, you just can't resist and you want to know what someone's using. She was actually using the Found Sealer by Tarte. I was like, oh, I have the Face Tape. I think I did a first impression video on it. I think I like the Found Sealer even more. I feel like it has a little bit more of a glowy sort of look. It is the multitasking foundation. When I see the word Found Sealer, I'm thinking it's like a foundation, it's a concealer, it's gonna be very full coverage. It is really good coverage, but I was also pleasantly surprised that it didn't feel like overly drying or matte on my skin. Tarte did come out with a brush and this foundation. I really love how densely packed this brush is. It's very, very stiff, and I think that's great for buffing in foundation. I got the color 27N. I'm gonna go ahead and pump out 1, 2, 3. Probably won't use it all, but you never know. So like always with foundation, I like to dot it on my face and then blend it in first with a brush, and then I go over with a beauty sponge, and we're gonna start blending in the foundation. Another thing that I should mention is that when you are doing your foundation, especially when it's fuller coverage, you really want to make sure you get it down below your neck. I always like to at least make sure that it's super blended, at least right at the jawline. Now I'm going to go in with my contour. Normally I do my concealer first, but today I'm going to do my contour first because I feel like sometimes that looks a little bit more natural. So this is the Sculptor Contouring Face Slenderizer. It is a super creamy formula. So what I like to do is almost use my hand like a little bit of an artist palette, and I'm just warming up some on the back of my hand. Then I'm gonna take a contouring brush and apply it all in the areas where I would want some contour. What I really like about this contour is how natural it looks, but it has a little bit of like a red undertone, but I don't want that to scare you guys because I know it sounds like, ooh, red undertone, I'm gonna look orange. So I'm just warming up a little bit more on the back of my hand. I'm gonna do my big old forehead. All right, so while I blend in my contour, I guess I should tell you guys. So I moved. I didn't purposely like keep it quiet. I think part of me is just so nervous like to say anything out loud. Like, I don't know if it's an anxiety thing or whatever, but I feel like if I say things out loud, like they won't happen. And so it wasn't like an, ooh, I want to keep this a secret. It's just more inside. I'm like, I want to wait. So yeah, we did move, and I have been recording and sort of vlogging the entire process. So that video will be coming soon. I had been living in a condo for 3 years, since 2016. Yeah, it would have been 3 years. This opportunity just fell into our laps. By our, I mean my boyfriend and I. Truthfully, I was tired of paying someone else's mortgage. I just feel like we kind of outgrew it. A lot happened in that condo, a lot of good memories, a lot of not so good memories, but it was a step in my life, and I'm very thankful for everything that happened there. And I did a lot of growing and evolving and learning there. For me, I think the whole concept of change is very scary, so I think that also played into my anxiety. I'm very much someone who likes feeling comfortable. I wasn't someone who moved a lot when I was a kid. I was born and we lived in one house, and then when I was in grade 5 we moved to another house, and I moved out of that house when I was 20. So I know a lot of people like moving and they move a lot, but my family was never really like that. We stayed in the same place for a while. So when I moved, it was completely new to me. I'm just blending with the sponge. There were some issues at the condo. You guys know, a few years ago, around Christmas time, my upstairs neighbors were just insane, insane. The amount of running, I mean, if you've been following me for a while, I have videos with the audio. It was crazy, so that was really annoying. I feel like that condo, that place, that time in my life, it served a purpose, but I am excited for a new chapter. What I can tell you is I wouldn't say that this house is a fixer-upper, because it's a really good house. I think just updating it is going to make the world of a difference. A lot of the rooms have been painted, are being painted. There are things that we are planning on changing. As you guys know, I'm sure if you've moved before or if you've helped anyone move, it can be very chaotic, very tiring, especially because the whole house basically needed to be painted. All of my stuff is still in the garage for the most part. I haven't been able to get super excited to decorate yet. All of our furniture is in the garage until it gets painted, which should be done in a few days. And I feel like once everything is in and it doesn't feel so barren, I'll get really excited about decorating and organizing and stuff like that. But yeah, there's been lots of spray painting. We painted the laundry room. I changed the handles, just little things like that. I should do my concealer while I'm just chit-chatting. So of course I have to use Tarte Shape Tape. I have so many colors. This is a product that I have literally been repurchasing for years and years. It is the OG. It is just such a good full coverage concealer. I have seen a lot of people say, oh, it's too heavy, it's too heavy. I just want to give you a reminder, you don't have to do the influencer style of concealer where you do so much. For every day in real life when you're not on cameras, you might look a little cakey. Less is more. I've been learning that. With my concealers, I like to go in with one that is a little bit lighter and one that's a little bit closer to my skin tone. I think I'm gonna go in with a light sand, just in the darker areas of my face. And then always kind of lifting up. This concealer is very, very concentrated. A little bit on my upper lip, a little bit here, and a little bit here. Okay, you don't have to tell me, I get it. As soon as I say that I'm not gonna be putting a ton of concealer, I just go in. I'm just gonna take light medium, a very tiny bit, just over here, and then on any areas where I might need a little bit of coverage. So I know it looks like a lot, but there's actually not that much. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it in. While I'm blending this in, I guess I'll just talk a little bit about the move. We weren't planning on moving. This was not a plan where we had been going house hunting and oh, we're gonna move this year. It was definitely something that I wanted to save towards. Growing up, I never really lived in apartments. I was so used to having a house, and I kind of think that living in an apartment building kind of contributed to my anxiety in some way, because I am such a rule follower. So I think just the constant worrying, oh my god, is my car okay? Oh my god, this, or oh my god, that. I don't know, something about it just definitely contributed to my anxiety. My street went from being very quiet to being very, very busy all the time, very loud. There was a lot of construction going on, and overall not very great for filming. While I was living there, I didn't feel like it was holding me back, but I kind of feel looking now, I don't think that it helped me, and I think that moving is kind of just what I needed to kind of get me out of my comfort zone a little bit, you know what I mean? I we'll be sharing that vlog soon. So now it's time for the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and use my setting powder. And how I like to set my face is I'll take a pretty good amount on my beauty sponge. I'll tap it off on my hand so there's not a ton of extra, and then I'll just go in and press it into my eyes. Now what I really like about this powder, especially for under eyes, is the slight banana tone. If you have darkness under your eyes, this is definitely a powder that I would recommend looking into, because I feel like it even neutralizes it a little bit more, which is super helpful. Now I don't like a ton of setting powder, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set kind of like in the smile line region around the nose. Then I might take a little bit, this is like, I don't do this every day, but it definitely does make your cheekbones pop a little bit. Whenever I go to the States, I always ask Tony, is there anything you need? And one time she asked me to bring this back for her. She loved this, and this is the Park Avenue Princess Contour Palette. So on the same beauty blender, I'm just gonna drag, these are super pigmented, and I'm just going to pat it underneath my eye. Now it's time for eyes, and I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that setting powder that I have on my lid and just set the eyelid. I am so excited to be using this palette today because I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have walked past this and I'm like, I don't need another palette. But every time I go by, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all warm tones and beautiful, and I used to really hate warm tones. So this is a beautiful warm palette. So this is their Toasted palette, and I'm just gonna do a quick, easy look. I'm actually gonna take the Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and I'm gonna get some on my brush. I think this has a little bit of a sheen to it. So I'm gonna get some on a brush, and I'm just gonna start by kind of like carving out my eye. Another thing I might also like to do is almost like pull it up, pull it out, if that makes sense, because this brush is basically clean at this point. To warm it up a little bit, I'm going to take this color Latte with the color Warmth, not a ton, and just kind of work it into the, like not above the crease, but like in the crease. Then on a little brush, like a little flat shader brush, I'm going to take the color Sunrise and just sort of put it on my inner corner. Now on my finger, I'm gonna take the color Sunset, which is just a nice sort of orangey bronze tone, which I really like for this time of year. Before I go ahead and curl my lashes, I'm just gonna take a black eyeliner. This is the Tarte Black Double Take Eyeliner, and there's a liquid side as well as a gel side, like a pencil side. So I'm gonna line my upper waterline and then curl my lashes and decide if I wanna do another liner. I kinda like the simple look. Tarte is famous for their Lights Camera Lashes mascara, and I actually got mine in a set because, believe it or not, in all of my years on YouTube, even though a Tarte eyeshadow palette was the first eyeshadow palette I ever bought.
You're probably wondering what this is. It's by Tarte. It's a full eyeshadow palette.
And included in my first ever haul video, I've never tried the Lights Camera lashes. And so I was definitely gonna order one, and then I saw that they had a set, and for $25 it came with a full-size mascara, a blush, as well as their best-selling mascara. So that's another great way just to try new products and check out the sets, because you might see something full size that you already know and love, and you can also try more from the brand. Another Tarte mascara is their Big Ego mascara, and I bought this a few months ago at Ulta. And at first I was like, you know, it does the job, it's a pretty good mascara, but I find that once it dries a little bit, it is very magical. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes and eyebrows off camera because I feel like everyone's seen that a million times, and when I get back, we're gonna be doing the finishing touches. Now I have my eyebrows on, my mascara on, and my lashes look really, really good. I love that mascara combo. I ended up doing a layer of Big Ego first because I find it really, really lengthening, and then I added the Lights Camera lashes on top. One of the last steps for my eyes is the Tarte Fake Awake Pencil. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times in my videos. It is definitely a step that I think everyone should do because it just makes your face look so much brighter. This is just a nude colored eye pencil. I wonder how much I have left of this. Oh my gosh, I only have that much left. On the bottom waterline, I personally don't like to add black or anything. The Tarte Fake Awake I love because it is super opaque. It doesn't like bleed or look just like eye boogers. It stays on for like a really, really long time, and I just feel like it brightens up the entire eye. Now I'm gonna go ahead and brush off all of the powder. Before I apply the setting spray, I'm just gonna take the Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. This bronzer I really like because it is a little bit glowy. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I love the sets that Tarte has come out with because I feel like you get to try so much for such a great deal. And one of the things that I was most excited to try was the Stay Spray by Tarte from their Shape Tape line. I love using setting sprays, especially at the last stage or right before highlighter, because I feel like it just ties everything together and helps everything just like mix together and looks like it was made to be all together, if that makes sense. The Stay Spray is supposed to lock makeup in place for up to 16 hours. It has a super fine mist, which I love because sometimes you spray your face and it's like just you get random dots everywhere. So I love that it's a very even, smooth, misty sort of feel. It's also infused with cucumber and aloe, which I personally love. I find that the addition of the cucumber and aloe helps to keep my face moisturized and not looking matte or dry or anything like that. I am not shy when it comes to setting spray. I love setting spray, and I don't know if you guys can see like how smooth that spray is. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face. I like to kind of do it in fours so that I don't miss anywhere. While I was doing my eyes, I did wipe off my lip, whatever makeup was on the lip, and now I'm gonna go in with a lip liner, and I am such a huge fan of this lip liner because it is like a contour pen for your lips. It is the color Baked, but I like it because it sort of is just like a warm nude. It's very creamy, and I love it for overlining or just kind of adding dimension to your face. And then because I want sort of like a pillowy, plump look, I just take a finger and I'm kind of just feathering it out a little bit so that it doesn't look like a harsh line. For my lipstick, I'm just going in with Skinny Dip. I also did get this gloss and lipstick duo, which I think is just so great for travel because you have a lipstick with a matching gloss. And then on top, I'm just gonna go in with this gloss. One of the last steps, I know I keep saying it's the last step, but one of the last steps is blush, and this is the blush in the color Prim. One last thing I want to do is I love the color Candle in the Tarte palette, so I want to try it as a highlight. So I'm just taking my highlighting brush. It's pigmented. Oh, that is nice. That pretty much wraps up my get ready with me. As always, links to everything I mentioned will be listed in the down bar down below. I have to say that over the years, I've dabbled in Tarte here and there. I'd buy a product here, I'd buy a product there, but I never have done like a full one brand look, and I have to say I really love the way my makeup turned out. I've been pretty much using these exclusively because when I was packing up to move, I went through all of my makeup and decluttered, and I pretty much only had this box. I'm looking at the pores around my nose, and I have to say I think that they do look way more reduced than they normally do, so I will continue doing that step. But overall, I really love everything that I've used. If you guys want to know any of my standout products from this video, I have been really loving the Stay Spray setting spray. I love how hydrating it feels, but how it also keeps my makeup on all day long. Sometimes I find that more hydrating setting sprays never actually set. They always feel a little bit tacky, so one of my favorite things about this spray is that it doesn't feel tacky on my skin. I just know that my makeup is locked in on my face. I mean, it's really hard for me to say what my standout products are because I'm looking at everything and I'm like, I love the foundation. I love the Park Avenue Princess palette. I love the Toasted palette. I loved the skincare products. The mascara is really great. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'll definitely be seeing a lot of these in upcoming videos. All right, guys, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I just wanna remind you guys that all the products that I use, along with my shades, if applicable, will be listed in the down bar down below. I also wanna say thank you again to Tarte for working with me on this video. In my first video, I used a Tarte palette, so it's kind of just weird how everything comes full circle and I'm working with Tarte on this videos. As always, I hope you have a great day or night depending on when you watch this, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.